Hi, everyone, and welcome to FWD DFW, together with the Dallas Morning News. I'm Ron Corning. Back in 2014, when Toyota North America announced it was moving its headquarters from California to North Texas, we all wondered how this corporate citizen would change the face of DFW. Well, it's coming into focus in a multitude of ways, and today we're focusing on West Dallas, an area that for a long time lacked connection to food, job training, and education. But now Toyota is driving possibilities in West Dallas.
Good morning, West Dallas STEM School. This morning, we have the pleasure of having a principal for a day in our building.
Hey, good morning, everyone. I am so excited to be here. My name is Sandra Phillips Rogers, and I am with Toyota.
My mother is a retired school teacher, and my sister just retired recently.
They have spent their entire adult lives educating
Children just like you. Thank you so much for just being great kids and
for studying hard and
being kind to each other and listening to your parents and teachers.
My first impression is one of hope. These little kids that come in with their backpacks and they're all ready to go and attack their day. And I love the building. It's so beautiful. I know part of it's under construction, but the part that I've seen, it really is best in class. And the principal, Ms. Jackson, and all of the teachers I've met just could not be more excited about what's going on here.
Good morning, get ready to start the day.
I think our vision for this work is limitless possibilities for all. It's the vision of our division within Toyota, and this really starts to put that in motion. The idea and the vision is to expand this beyond to Toyota's 15 other operational communities, so all students can have access to careers and high-growth jobs for tomorrow.
We want these students to be successful in whatever future they choose for themselves. But in order for them to get there, you have to also say, what's going on with you social-emotionally? What's going on with your mental health? What's going on with your basic needs? Until we get to that point where they're showing up prepared mentally, physically, emotionally to engage with their teachers, we're not going to get those outcomes that we're looking for.
It's really been impactful. I don't want to say effective. It's been impactful because we've seen how just to get a child that maybe have missed breakfast and then got here late, we've seen the difference that makes. And when they come, if it's them coming in here with me or going with one of the assistant principals to meet that immediate need, that's easy. That's an easy fix for us. But for them, it really sets the course for their day.
It's predicted that in the next decade, we're going to need 3.5 million STEM jobs to transform and do all of the things that we know that the future will bring. And there's going to be a 2 million gap. So what I'm seeing here is starting to lay the seeds to close that gap. What I see here today is something that I think will stick. I think as long as there's strong partnerships in the communities and that the educators have the resources and development that they need, and the curriculum really speaks to all of the things that we need to have STEM firmly embedded in our students' educational experience, I think there's no stopping the kids here.
And we are here with Angie Gaylord of DISD and Dean Stephanie Knight of SMU. As the Deputy Chief of Office of Transformation and Innovation, Angie Gaylord, you know well that this has been going on for some time, but to see it in real time taking shape, as you were watching that, what were you thinking?
Just how proud we are of this work and this partnership. We've been doing this with SMU and Toyota for almost 5 years. And so seeing the kids in the class, seeing the principal, just their enthusiasm, knowing that every day they're going to get these robust, dynamic experiences, it just, it's a calling for educators to want to do this work, and grateful to be able to do it.
Dean Knight, I know that Toyota wants to stress this, and they've said it over and over. They didn't parachute in to North Texas and say, there's nothing here, we're going to create it. There's nothing here, we're going to create it. They looked to see what was already happening and what was working and said, how can we help make it better? And to that end, what has your experience been to this point?
They did that. They were very intentional. And they're very different from many of the industries that I've worked with in the past. They rolled up their sleeves, they got in there, and they worked with us. They talked to the community, they found out what the needs were, they looked at the strengths of the various partners, and this has been an incredible experience.
Yeah, I saw one of your deputies, one of your folks on the ground, Karen Pierce, who was out there living and breathing what this is really all about, and in partnership with Toyota and with others in the community as well, who want to see that these children have equal opportunity. When you see, Angie, those children, and I know you visit these schools on a regular basis, but like all of us, we can get caught up in the administrative duties that go on behind the scenes. So to see those faces of those children and know people watching are going to really see it for the first time, that's important, isn't it?
It's very important, and you can see through the video the resources and the experiences that the students are in. I know that robotics and coding and engineering for pre-K through first graders and then for 7th and 8th graders, sometimes it does seem like it's different, but when you engage students and you let them know you can thrive, we're going to put you in critical reading, critical writing, critical thinking scenarios. It really does change their future and their trajectory.
Dean Knight, I'm curious to know specifically, as SMU is such a part of what's happening in DISD, what does that look like?
Well, each partner brings unique talents and unique contributions to the partnership. So we have the administration and teachers, the strength and the schools in Dallas ISD. We have the West Dallas community that brings their culture and the community spirit to the partnership. We have Toyota, who can advise us about the workforce skills that are needed for the 21st century workforce. And SMU provides a curriculum development, professional development, but more importantly, a research focus. We want to know what works for whom, under what conditions.
And you're guiding teachers as well, helping good teachers be better teachers in specific ways. What does that look like? That's
very hands-on. It can be professional development that's held on SMU campus, or it can be teachers, faculty and teachers going into the classroom and working together.
Mentorship programs.
Mentorship programs, yes. Formal classes, informal classes.
Yeah. So a lot of hands-on, like here is our skill set. Let's look at real life development issues, not just teaching to a test. Not that that's not important.
Absolutely. We don't want to tell teachers what to do. We want them to see what is effective teaching. So we're very hands-on.
Well, that is such an interesting segue, because I had the opportunity to visit another West Dallas school with an after-school program, the 826 Dallas Project, and it is an incredible opportunity for kids to really understand the importance of learning how to communicate and write that could serve their futures, but they draw on very personal experiences, and now their stories are going to be shared with a wider audience. Take a look.
To have this project, Dallas 826, it just really means that it envelops everything that we stand here for. It's very culturally diverse, it's very accepting, it's warm. I couldn't have picked a better name for it, quite honestly.
Dig underneath all the little goodies, you'll see your book. How cool is that? Yay! How awesome!
Your books will be for sale to the public.
It's really about a love for learning that we try to foster here on this campus, and a love for writing and expressing oneself in a healthy and positive way.
A lesson I learned from my elders is to follow my dreams, not others. My mom always encourages me to be my best self. Sometimes that's hard because I'm a person who craves approval, and when people criticize my work and what I do, I get sad.
A lot of the time, students come into school and they're bringing in what they're going through at home, and school is their safe place. Then they can write it down. It's almost their diary that they're getting to share with us. And I think that's huge.
This young man, Gabriel, came to the table with an awareness of our world's problems I've
been in charge of this world for a day. The world has not been the best these past years. COVID-19, house prices going up, people having guns with no license, and the environment getting more and more polluted.
He wants to help the world. He wants to see it change. If he could just have a little spark and then that just spread to his classmates, imagine what could happen.
I have made more homeless shelters for the homeless, and they seem to love it. I made a free clinic where patients are given no bills. I am really satisfied with how I've changed this world.
They know what's going on and they hold it with them. And being able to write about it is amazing. The fact that they're able to take that, see what's going on in the world, digest it, and then be able to speak to it. I mean, I can only imagine if this is where the start, where they're gonna go from here.
I feel safe in my home tonight. The love in the air is blooming, blossoming, and strong. Writing my thoughts down helps me release some of the things that get built up inside. It could cause me to break down. Like it could be during band, I would be playing my instrument and I would not get this piece right, and then all of a sudden I would just start breaking down crying.
Because the stress of life is sort of interfering with your passion.
Yes.
Yeah.
Programs like 826 and teachers like Miss Whitaker are about, everyone has a voice, but not everyone knows how to use their voice. And so programs like this and teachers like this, they actually show the kids how to use their voice and how they can make that change, how they can be part of that change.
Toyota has helped in so many ways. You're not just changing us as teachers, you're changing these students. Like to have a book of their own to hold and say, this is mine, that's life-changing for some of these kids.
I cannot tell you how grateful it is to have such a huge organization to really want to help the youth and really want to help education. It's amazing, and it just makes us as educators feel supported and feel valued.
And Debbie Solis is here with Voices of Hope Ministries, a longtime resident of West Dallas. That school, the West Dallas STEM school that we showcased earlier, is where you went to school, Pinkston High School.
Yes.
When you see that transformation, what do you think?
Oh, I'm happy. I mean, it's what we needed.
Yeah.
School's important.
You've been filling needs for a very long time, and I think it's appropriate as we heard the voices of those young people with this book they've published called Exhale. You saw Gabe wearing his button proudly, published author. These are published authors. They're being given a voice. Your ministry is Voices of Hope. Those are voices of hope. Do you see it that way as well?
Of course. Many times, I grew up in West Dallas, third generation. We just didn't feel like we had a voice. You know, we didn't have the means or the money or the clothes or whatever society tells you. But in reality, that's not what's needed. It's we just need to find a place. And West Dallas has been my place for many years, all my life. So that's what I think the children feel the same way. They need a voice.
When you say that, I'm saddened to hear that for so long, people with such great potential, like these young people, like you as well, have felt forgotten, have felt left out of expansion, opportunity. I feel like it's changing, and it's changing in great part because of contributions of corporate citizens like Toyota who recognize what's working and they're there to make it better. Are you feeling like the pieces of this puzzle are finally coming together for the better?
Yes, of course. And Voice of Hope is Voice of Hope is an after school program. Mm-hmm. But really what I believe, and all of us at Voice of Hope, is holistic approach. You have to go not only to the school, you have to go to the parent, you have to go to the child and meet those needs together. Mm-hmm. Especially if it's a Hispanic community. You know, our culture is familia, it's family. So when you put them all together, you have success stories. And I love the Toyota coming in because Toyota came into Voice of Hope. And I've been wanting to do a parenting class forever. And they gave us the grant for this parenting class that I've been wanting for the last 30 years. Because when people come into the community, they need help parenting, being parents. Not that we're better, but we have to explain the system is different. If you have first-generation people from whatever country they come from, and in West Dallas we have a lot of first-generation, the system is different than where they came from in Mexico.
Why was no one hearing that before?
Because
Did they just want to do what they wanted to do? I mean, I just wonder, like, listening is the first step to understanding, right?
Yeah, because people, they get their value when they sit on boards and give them money without meeting and asking, what do you need? I have a story where I have friends that went and do a mission trip, and they were putting basketball courts in Mexico. You would think it's great. So, and then I had someone talk to the community. No one played basketball. But this is what this group wanted to do without asking. They wanted a soccer field.
They didn't want basketball.
They don't. Same thing here. You know?
So there's the analogy,
That's it.
right? You build basketball courts in a place where people play soccer. And when I see these programs coming together, and you touched on something so important, a holistic approach, wraparound services, you can have an incredibly bright student who's just a published author. But if they come to school hungry, they're not going to be able to tap into that.
That's it. That's why food pantries, those things are important. And
You've been feeding people for decades.
We have.
And addressing food insecurity at its core.
Of course. And I think for West Dallas, I always tell people that when we serve someone and we give them food, we have to make it as if someone is coming into our home. That's the way I see it. It's how you give the food also. If you give it with love and respect, they're going to accept it and they're not going to feel shame. But when you give it as you're just another number, okay, why do you need in food? It's just how you bring the services to the people.
Well, everyone at Brother Bill's Helping Hand is a neighbor, right?
Yes.
They're a neighbor. It means my neighbor for now is having a difficult time and we're here to help them through it. I think the other part of this holistic approach, these wraparound services, is transportation. And where there are gaps in transportation, there are problems in people being able to get to that after school program, to get to the food pantry. And we want to highlight on that as well, Debbie, and show you this story. It is Circuit Mobility, also a big project of Toyota's, and it's also identifying and closing that gap. Take a look. Circuit Mobility, smaller vehicles on demand, so they can come into neighborhoods as people need them.
We go all the way to Union Station, which is downtown. So we go as far as to the train.
DART is a valued partner of Toyota. We're working together to fund the service and integrate it as part of their system. So we worked in community meetings to really better understand what it was, where the gaps were, but this is a monumental step to really help them access healthy food in their community, education through the SIM school, connecting elsewhere throughout the city. So a lot of older adults find it very easy to get in and out. They'll help with groceries on those little neighborhood level trips.
And nice artwork on these cars. I mean, it feels like it's part of the community because they've put their stamp on it.
Yeah, and their names and their ages are on there, so you can almost be like, I did that. That's my work every time it drives by.
That do consider West Dallas his own little town on the map, filled with a bunch of people and characters, and I love it. It's a good area.
Do you get an alert from passengers that you recognize?
And most of my passengers are regulars.
Many of them live in this community, so they're known by people that are looking to access the service.
You're connecting with your neighbors on a daily basis.
If it's a bad day, I can definitely help him out a little bit, put a little smile, kick a little laugh.
He's always convenient, he's on time, and that's the most important part.
Yeah, he's one of the cool. Thank you.
I never imagined I could do this for a company like Toyota that cares so much about the communities it's invested in.
A lot of them say, man, it's been a blessing to the neighborhood.
It's a big pat on the back, serving the people in the West Dallas community, whether they know or not. I love them just as much as they love me.
How do you feel long term this will change the quality of life for a family that has lived in a way isolated or not had opportunity or access, whether it be to the food pantry or to medical care or to education?
I think it is life-changing, having that access and the freedom of movement. It's really the level of service that really should be here and available to anyone who needs to get anywhere.
And Chris Reynolds and Colleen Casey are here from Toyota North America. Thank you both for being a part of this conversation today. And I know you spearheaded much of this, Chris, and Colleen, but when you hear it from the people in the community, when you hear things like, this is a blessing, you say what?
Well, I say what a wonderful program and what a wonderful privilege it is for Toyota to become involved in this sort of community building. You know, it reminds me of growing up in Detroit. I grew up in Detroit, south of 8 Mile, for those who know that area of the world. And what that meant was, and what it means for this, is that I understand how we need to have different facets of community building to strengthen communities: education, transportation, community programs all across sort of the spectrum, and not just limited to one area, which is why we like to call it driving possibilities, not just in education, but all across the community. I think it's very special.
Colleen, you've been a part of this, and folks saw you in the piece at the West Dallas STEM School. So this connects it really, circuit mobility sort of, and I said it in that piece, it connects all of the parts and pieces of what this community needs. You can provide food for people, you can provide educational opportunities, but if you don't have the transportation to get there, it becomes sort of a futile effort.
Agree 100%. And one of the pieces of artwork on the circuit vehicle said Unicorn Rescue Car. I think that speaks volumes. You know, we can, again, have the best STEM programming inside the four walls of a school, but if we're not thinking holistically about how people get from point A to point B, people feel powerless. They can't really fully realize their opportunities. So I think it brings hope, it brings excitement, and it really helps us connect the dots.
And those are the sentiments that I heard people talking about. They were hopeful for the future. They were feeling more cared for, like their lives matter in this community. They're not overlooked, that the kids who are the smartest don't just have to wonder what could life be like. They actually experience it with programs like 826 and with the STEM program. And I'm curious to know, Chris, from your standpoint as well, when I talked to the leaders at Brother Bill's Helping Hand, which is an extension of the North Texas Food Bank or a partner of, they said their systems and the way they operate their grocery store and the way in which they handled the drive-through during the pandemic was because you sent a team of people in there to say, we have knowledge of how these efficiencies work along an assembly line, and that knowledge is transferable. When along the way in Toyota's development did you realize that what you do to make your business as great as it is could also be an asset used in a community to make it better as well?
That's been something we've been doing for decades, but since we moved to North Texas in 2016, we've really focused our efforts here in the community. We have a backyard strategy. We want to take care of our backyard, keep it clean, keep everybody happy in it. So it's been really since our arrival here in 2016, and the key to that sort of program is always listen to the people who are actively working at the site. We call it the Genba. You have to not impose your vision. You have to listen to what their vision is and then support it. And we can do that with great process.
Yeah, and these stories today, I think, support that when you hear the folks at Circuit Mobility say, before I had an on-demand ride service, I wondered how I would get to a doctor's appointment, or worse, I missed my doctor's appointment. I couldn't get to the food pantry. So thank you all for everything you do at Toyota North America. And as we started this broadcast, we talked about we wondered what Toyota's presence in this community would mean, and I hope people understand as they've watched today exactly what you've done. Thank you both.
We're thrilled to be here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, thrilled to have you as well. And thank you all for watching. For more information on Toyota's driving possibilities, go here.